The War of 1812, a struggle for sovereignty and expansion. The War of 1812, often called America's Second War of Independence, was a conflict between the United States and Great Britain that lasted from 1812 to 1815. The war was driven by a combination of factors, including British violations of American maritime rights, territorial expansionist ambitions, and tensions with Native American tribes allied with the British. Although the war ended in a stalemate, it solidified American independence and fostered a sense of national pride. The background, causes of the war. 1. Maritime rights and impressment. During the Napoleonic Wars, 1803 to 1815, Britain and France imposed trade restrictions on neutral countries, including the United States. The British Royal Navy also engaged in impressment, forcibly recruiting American sailors into British service, claiming they were deserters. This practice outraged Americans and violated their sovereignty. 2. Trade restrictions. Britain's orders in council and France's continental system restricted American trade with Europe, crippling the U.S. economy. The British blockade of French ports particularly harmed American merchants. 3. Territorial expansion. Many Americans, especially war hawks in Congress, sought to expand U.S. territory into British-held Canada and Spanish Florida. They believed Canada could be easily conquered and saw the war as an opportunity to remove British influence from North America. 4. Native American resistance. Native American tribes, led by the Shawnee chief Tecumseh, resisted American expansion into their lands. Tecumseh's confederation, supported by the British, posed a significant threat to U.S. settlers in the Northwest Territory. Thus, the war begins 1812. On June 18, 1812, President James Madison signed a declaration of war against Britain. The U.S. was ill-prepared for the conflict, with a small army and navy, but it hoped to capitalize on Britain's preoccupation with the Napoleonic Wars. Early campaigns. Invasion of Canada, 1812 to 1813. American forces launched several unsuccessful invasions of Canada, including defeats at Detroit and Queenston Heights. Poor leadership and lack of coordination plagued these efforts. Naval victories. Despite being outnumbered, the U.S. Navy achieved notable victories, including the USS Constitution's defeat of the HMS Guerriere, earning it the nickname Old Ironsides. Key events and battles, 1813 to 1814. 1. Great Lakes Campaign. The U.S. gained control of Lake Erie after Commodore Oliver Hazard Perry's victory at the Battle of Lake Erie, September 10, 1813. This allowed American forces to retake Detroit and defeat Tecumseh's Confederation at the Battle of the Thames, October 5, 1813, where Tecumseh was killed. 2. Chesapeake Campaign. In 1814, Britain launched a series of raids along the Chesapeake Bay, culminating in the burning of Washington, August 24, 1814. British troops set fire to the White House, Capitol, and other government buildings in retaliation for the American burning of York, modern-day Toronto. 3. Fort McHenry and the Star-Spangled Banner. The British attempted to capture Baltimore but were repelled at the Battle of Fort McHenry, September 13th to 14th, 1814. The defense of the fort inspired Francis Scott Key to write The Star-Spangled Banner, which later became the U.S. national anthem. 4th. Southern Theater. In the South, General Andrew Jackson led American forces to victory against the Creek Nation at the Battle of Horseshoe Bend, March 27, 1814, securing control of the Mississippi Territory. The war's final phase, 1815. 1. Treaty of Ghent, December 24, 1814. Peace negotiations began in Ghent, Belgium, in August 1814. The Treaty of Ghent was signed on December 24, 1814, officially ending the war. The treaty restored pre-war borders and did not address the issues of impressment or trade restrictions, but it marked a return to the status quo. 2. Battle of New Orleans, January 8, 1815. Unaware of the treaty, British forces launched an attack on New Orleans. General Andrew Jackson led a diverse force of soldiers, pirates, and free African Americans to a decisive victory at the Battle of New Orleans, cementing his reputation as a national hero. Era of good feelings. The post-war period, known as the Era of Good Feelings, was marked by political unity and economic growth as the U.S. turned its attention to internal development. Conclusion. The War of 1812 was a defining moment in American history. While it ended in a stalemate, it affirmed the United States' independence, strengthened its national identity, and set the stage for its westward expansion. The war's legacy is remembered in the resilience of its people